आप इंट्रोड्यूस कर दो सबको तो।
मैं तो सिर्फ यूज़ कर रहा हूँ।
पीयूष, आप कहाँ से हैं?
नमस्कार, मेरा नाम
बैठ गए।
नमस्कार, मेरा नाम पार्थसारथी हजारिका है।
पार्थसारथी,
मैं आसाम से।
आसाम।
जी। मैं प्रत्युष कुमार प्रधान हूँ और मैं अनुगुल से। रामकृष्ण प्रताप सिंह हूँ और
मयूरभंज।
मैं देवासी सामर हूँ,
जाजपुर रोड, जाजपुर टाउन।
जाजपुर।
So we'll start our session, second session. We'll start with some prayers. हाथ जोड़िए, मेरे साथ साथ बोलिएगा। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णापृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So welcome everyone for coming in this session. So today is our second session. We are discussing on journey of self-discovery. So yesterday we established that existence of God is not a myth, it's a fact. And we discussed many examples yesterday. I'll just share some of those examples with you so that you can relate what we discussed yesterday and what we are going to discuss today. So yesterday I told that every creation implies that there must be a creator. Whatever we see around us is being created by someone. This fan is created by someone, this tubelight is created by someone, this laptop is created by someone, this mobile phone is created by someone, this tripod stand is created by someone, this chair is created by someone, that table is created by someone, this building is created by someone. So there is a creator. So for every creation that implies that there must be a creator. Similarly, we see this entire cosmos. So this entire cosmos is being created. So there must be a creator. And then I told yesterday, we were discussing that when we see a painting, we see there is a painter behind that painting. If we make a paper flower using some craft art, so that paper flower requires some intelligence to make, but that paper flower does not have any aroma, does not have any fragrance. And but when we see a natural flower, so once it was in a budding stage and then it started to bloom in a full bloom state, and then eventually it dwindles and die. So and then it gives aroma. So if artificial flower is made by someone using intelligence, why not a natural flower? Then we also discussed that for a computer programming we need to give syntax, and if there is some error in the syntax, it shows error in the result. Similarly, our DNA is nothing but a computer programming, a kind of a program. millions of base pairs are joined together to make strands of DNA, and a section of DNA is called a gene, and that gene is responsible for different expressions. And that shows that some intelligence is there to program that DNA, is it not? So who is the programmer? First question that we need to ponder upon. Today I will be coming to a little more, and we also discussed about Big Bang. I gave the example that if you like, we took the example of chili paneer. If someone likes chili paneer, so there are two ways to explore about it. One is that chili paneer, like if you want chili paneer, so your mother went inside the kitchen and she had paneer and she had some spicy, she had oil and she cooked. Another example is that paneer is kept in the kitchen and oil is there and spices are there, and then there was a big explosion, cylinder exploded and chili paneer came out of nowhere. So what is more logical? Naturally, the first one is more logical. That means that Big Bang theory is not very logical actually. Because when we say science means logic, but we don't find any logic here. So, and then we also discuss about axiomatic truth. There are certain truths which are true, but you cannot prove them true. Say for example, after 1 comes 2, after 2 comes 3. So this is true. Under root of -1 iota exists. This is true. But if I'll ask, prove it. So it's not, you cannot prove it. It's true. Certain truths are beyond the scope of our explanation or experimentation. But their existence is a fact. Similarly, when we say existence of God, so it's not about just proving it. It's about experiencing it. And through this course, we are going to experience that. Today, I'll be coming to a very important concept. It says that this nature is compared with mother. Have you ever heard this phrase, mother nature? We call it mother nature. So we call about mother nature, what about father? If nature is compared with mother, so then there must be father also. Because mother means mother is not sufficient to give birth. There must be a father. A woman is not sufficient enough to give birth. There must be a male partner which fertilizes, which injects the semen or seed, and then the female partner give birth to a new generation. So if nature is compared with mother, then there must be father also. Is it not? So who is the father? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva yonishu kaunteya murteya sambhavantiya tasam brahma mahad yoni aham bija pradapita. I am the seed giving father. So this world, this nature is like a mother, and I am the seed giving father. And because I am giving the seed, you can find out different Sarva yonishu kaunteya. There are different varieties of lives. Plant life, animal life, microorganisms are there, human beings are there, demigods are there, on those who are living on the higher planets. From insignificant ant to the most sophisticated, most intelligent creature called Brahma is being created by, Krishna says, I am the seed giving father. And this universe, this mother nature, this nature is mother. And then yesterday we also discussed the fact that another name of the Supreme Lord is Adhokshaja. The word Adhokshaja means who is beyond our sense perception. Our senses are so limited that it cannot approach God. Because God is beyond our sense perception. And therefore his name is Adhokshaja. Adha Akshaja. Aksha means senses. Ja means the knowledge that comes from senses. And Adha means that it is not sufficient to reach the Supreme Person. Adhokshaja. Then if we cannot understand Lord by our senses, then what is the right way, or what is the way by which we can approach to Him? So that is the point of discussion today. So see, there are different ways by which we grasp knowledge. One way of grasping knowledge is with our sense perception. But then we find that our senses have certain limitations. Our eyes have a limitation. We can see just from, in the Vibgyor range. And there are waves, there are frequencies which is beyond the Vibgyor range. There are infrared, ultraviolet, there are X-rays and radio waves, etc. But then our eyes have limitations. We cannot see beyond certain frequency. Our ears have a certain frequency within 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz, and beyond that we cannot hear. There are different animals that they can detect waves more than 20 kilohertz and less than 20 hertz, but our ears have limitation. And you'll find every senses have a knowledge. It's a knowledge acquiring faculty. Say for example, if someone is blind, can you prove that person what is the color of, what is white color, what is red color, what is yellow color? Just to understand color, the faculty of eye. With the faculty of eye, you cannot justify which one is what. For that, you require a faculty of taste. This is called knowledge acquisition. Once upon a time, my grandfather was a hostel in charge in Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited in Bhopal, in BHL. So once they had this, big mutton feast in their hostel. So they were cooking around 50 kgs of mutton, more than that probably. Big feast. And you know what they did? So there was, in their kitchen, there was powdered sugar and salt. And the cook misunderstood powdered sugar to be salt. And you can well imagine 50 kg or more than that mutton, it became sweet meat. So I'm just telling, our senses have certain limitation and we fall into illusion. Just like that cook fell into illusion. He could not figure out what is salt and what is. Well, just imagine the situation of people, now they're going to have mutton, and as they must have put it in their mouth, and how horrible it must be. Is it not? So our senses are limited, and because of our limited senses, we fall into illusion. And then because of illusion, we commit mistakes. This is the natural tendency of someone who is in this conditioned state. We are in conditioned stage. We are not perfect. We are not perfect beings. So therefore, our senses are very limited. Our senses have limited perception. If perception is limited, understanding is limited. We fall into illusion. We make mistakes. And then we have cheating propensity. Cheating propensity means we do not accept our mistake. We don't want to. We commit mistake, but we don't accept it. There are many authors, those who write commentaries on scriptures, and they know well that they are not competent enough to write. Simply by understanding some words or decoding some words of Sanskrit, they try to write something which is in their perception, and this is how they are presenting truth, half truth, partial truth, maybe false or mostly false, but then don't accept it that my commentary is wrong. So this is the problem with someone who is in conditioned stage of life. Our senses are imperfect. Because of imperfect senses, we fall into illusion, and then we make mistakes, and then we cheat. We do not accept. And because of all this, our experiments, for example, there was a time when it was proved that plague is caused because of cats, and they started to kill cats on wholesale. But afterwards they found out actually it was not cat, it was rat. And then they said sorry. Scientists said sorry. By the time they said sorry, millions of people were wiped out. So that shows that how limited our science is. There was a time when J.J. Thomson gave his structure of atom, and when the next model came, it took 100 years, probably. 100 years, the whole 3-4 generation were living in a world, and where they accepted that structure of atom is something like a plum pudding model, something like a watermelon. And then someone somewhere, Niels Bohr appeared, and he said that no, Rutherford appeared, and he said no, structure of atom is not like this, it's like this. And then Niels Bohr appeared, and then Schrodinger appeared, etc. The whole generation lived in that, understanding. Similarly, so many things are being taught to us in our science laboratories, in our science textbook, in our science classes, and we are living with that, we are living with that, and we are believing that, but who knows, after 50 years, after 100 years, someone will come and say, no, that was wrong. And we live with that wrong knowledge. So we need to understand science have limitation. And when we try to justify everything scientifically, we need to understand that science has limitation because science is being experimented by our senses, and our senses are limited. Therefore, science is not sufficient to justify the real knowledge. And then science deals with something which comes under the perception of our senses. But then there are certain things which is beyond the perception of our senses. If I ask you what is beyond this universe, science have a limitation up to, say, few light years. Not even that actually. And what about what is beyond the universe? And if I want that knowledge, where do I refer? Then comes the second category called speculation, anuman. If I cannot experiment something, then I speculate something. I give some hypothesis and then I try to justify it. But do you think speculation is the good way of acquiring knowledge? So, for example, what is going beyond this wall? Can you speculate? 100 people can give 100 kinds of speculation. Until you have not seen the truth, nothing is justified. Speculation is not the right. Say, for example, Charles Darwin. He gave the theory, and in his entire book, Species, Origin of Species, he says that probably it must have been like this, probably it must have been like that. So he's using the word probably, maybe, might be, I think so. You cannot call this science. It is his speculation. And then after writing the entire book, Origin of Species, at the last chapter, he's explaining that, I am calling things evolution, but is it really evolution? When we see the structure of eye of an insignificant animal, we find how much it is evolved. Actually, even for very insignificant insect, the structure of eye is very evolved. So calling things that things are set into order by evolution, it doesn't make sense, even to Charles Darwin. But because we don't have any better theory, so we believe, we accept. But then it's all speculation. If things are something evolving by chance, so yesterday I was giving this example, why not you find a single person with nose hair or eyes hair? Why not a single person? At least some exception. See, inorganic chemistry is full of exceptions. Why not you find any single exception in biology that someone with eyes, hair or hair somewhere? Not even single. Are my words making sense? So we need to understand that speculation is not the right way of acquiring knowledge. Once upon a time, there was an elephant, and then there were 6 blind men. So they were trying to figure out what exactly the elephant is. So somebody was holding the trunk of an elephant. Instead, elephant is something like is a big ajgar, python. Somebody was touching the big belly of elephant. Elephant is just like a wall. Somebody was catching hold of a tail of an elephant, and they were telling elephant is just like a rope. Someone was catching the legs of elephants, and it's like a big tree trunk. Somebody was holding off this tooth of elephant, and elephant is just like a sharp arrow. What exactly elephant is like? Are they right or are they wrong? They're right, but partially. Huh? According to them they are right, but according to a person who can see, who have eyes, they're partially right, but they'll remain foolish until unless they do not approach a person who have eyes. They'll remain foolish. And if these blind people they may have, they may spend billions of dollars on holding conferences on theology and of what elephant exactly look like, and everybody is debating and debating and debating. Will they ever get to the real point, how elephant looks like? No. What they must do? They must approach a person who can see. And that is the way by which we receive spiritual knowledge. Tat vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. Ubdekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. One who has really seen the truth. He has seen the truth, approach to that self-realized soul and humbly inquire from him. Pranipatena. Do not challenge, because challenging won't work. Pranipatena. Pariprashna. Ask submissively and serve that spiritual personality. And ubdekshanti te jnanam, and then they will give knowledge. Why? Because they have seen the truth. So that is the way by which we receive spiritual knowledge. We cannot just argue, because argument doesn't work. We cannot just speculate, because speculation doesn't work. We cannot just experiment things, because these things are beyond the sense perception. Spiritual things is beyond sense perception. Then the right way of receiving this knowledge is we need to approach a Tattvadarshi Guru, a spiritual master, who have seen the truth, humbly inquiring from him, then understanding. And you know what? When we humbly inquire and understand, gradually knowledge level increases. And then pratyakshvagama. We start to realize the truth. Certain things, as I said, is a matter, like you may read a 1,000-page book on Rasgulla. But just by reading, will you able to understand the taste of Rasgulla? What you need to do is taste. Similarly, spiritual knowledge is just not the matter of speculation or argument or experimentation, because even by all those stuff you cannot taste it, you cannot realize it. Realization comes when you approach a spiritual master who is bona fide, when you approach scriptures which are bona fide, and when these things are taught to you in a scientific, relatable way, you started to feel it, you start to realize it. Make sense? Makes sense? Say for example, what is the difference between Gyan and Vigyan, science and wisdom? Knowledge and wisdom, say for example. Gyan and Vigyan. I'll give you a very practical example. See, what is the taste of sugar? Chhena poda, halwa, kheer, and custard, fruits, barfi, all are sweet. But you know what exactly each item tastes like. So everything is sweet is knowledge, is jnana. But then everything tastes like what? Is your realization, is wisdom. It's vijnana. That you have actually realized. So spiritual knowledge is not just a matter of argument or experimentation. It is a matter of realization. And you can only realize the truth when you approach a proper personality. And therefore, the 6 blind men, what they should do? They should approach to someone who have eyes. And he will tell that, elephant is exactly like this. And your understanding of elephant is, you're touching the leg and therefore thinking elephant is like this. You're touching the tooth, so you're thinking elephant is like this. So then you need to believe him. That is how it works. The problem in today's scenario is people are blind and they're proud to be blind. The problem is they're blind and they're proud to be that they are blind. Other day I was like hostel boys are very proud of their dirty rooms. Is it not? They're very proud. Just see how we live. They're proud of not taking bath for 2 weeks. Ignorance is bliss. Sleeping for 20 hours. So what we are learning today is, in order to understand the spiritual truth, you need to approach a bona fide spiritual master. You need to approach bona fide guru. And you need to approach scriptures, and that is called Shabda Praman. That knowledge is coming in a form of sound vibration. We need to listen to that truth from the higher authorities, and then gradually we'll start to realize the truth. It's a science. So for example, you all are science students, so therefore I can discuss the scientific examples with all of you. Say for example, we have Newtonian physics, Newtonian mechanics, collision between two objects. So if you want to study collision between two balls, the science that you will apply is Newtonian mechanics. You need to understand force, you have dynamics. You need to understand motion, you have kinematics. You need to understand flow of liquid, you have hydrodynamics. You need to understand flow of current, you have electronics. You need to understand flow of gases, you have kinematic theories. You need to understand waves, how waves are being transmitted. So you have quantum physics. Can you apply Newtonian mechanics, laws or Newtonian mechanics in quantum physics or electronics? No. Why? It's a different arena of science. It's a different platform of science. Similarly, when it comes to, how our mind works. How swift is our mind? What is the speed of our mind? Think about your home. The mind is at home. Think about Rourkela, it's at Rourkela. You think about Angul, it's at Angul. You think about Jajpur, it's at Jajpur. How much time it takes?
Milliseconds.
Not even milliseconds. Less than that. So just like you cannot apply Newtonian mechanics, laws of Newton on quantum physics, quantum scenario or electronics, similarly dynamic of mind is working in a different way. And even subtler is soul. Dynamics of soul are even more subtler. It have an entire range of science. It's a science, but the entire range of science is different. The problem starts when we try to justify these concepts with our limited Newtonian mechanics or quantum physics or electronics. When we need to understand the subtler science, subtler phenomena by the science that we know, is it sufficient? It's not. Just like, say for example, iron needle and iron sword. Both are iron. The purpose is both have different function. I want to sew it. Will iron sword help? You need a needle. So it's a common sense. For every approach, you have different tools. For every approach, you have different mechanism. For every approach, you have different phenomena. You have different science. Then why you need to understand spirituality with the science that we know? Makes sense? Because it is completely different paradigm. We need to understand that paradigm with the science that we know. That means we have a sword and we need to sew with the sword. And the result will be disaster. Disaster. That is the problem when someone says, does God exist? Prove it scientifically. Does soul exist? Prove it scientifically. So my point is, what is science? Science is a tool to understand reality. Science and mathematics is nothing but the tool which helps us to understand reality. But then for different sets of reality, we have different. So why you need to understand certain set of science with certain science that you know? So you need to understand spiritual concept, get a different set of science, get a different set of tool. Say for example, early, because now everything is on internet, because one dictionary was dealing entirely with medical terms. Another dictionary was dealing with entire set of engineering terms. One dictionary was dealing with entire terms of political. One dictionary was dealing with entire terms that was social and economical. So different dictionaries are required, and there may be certain words which appear in all the dictionaries, but they have different functions. Similarly, for different paradigms, we have different category of science, we have different category of tools. The way to understand spiritual knowledge is to listen from the higher authority who has perceived that knowledge, and then we are equipped with certain intelligence, not in argumentative or challenging spirit. Why? Challenging must be there in terms of I want to understand, not I want to prove you wrong. Say for example, you are in 8th standard and teacher told you structure of atom looks like this. And the first question, madam, आपने देखा है? Have you seen it? Madam say I have not seen. Then if you have not seen, what you are telling me? So when you approach a guru, आपने भगवान को देखा है? If I'll say हाँ देखा है, what you will understand? If I'll say नहीं देखा, खुद नहीं देखा, हमको क्या बता रहे हैं? This is not the right way. 8th standard teacher says atom looks like this, you believe in teacher's word. Because by the time you come in 12th standard, you will understand, yes. So many mechanisms and so many phenomena are proved. Simply challenging doesn't work. You need to be E is equal to mc square. आप कैसे मानते हैं? अरे आइंस्टीन ने बोला है. आइंस्टीन कैसे जानता है? उसके बाप ने बोला है. हम कैसे माने? करके देख लो. But even if you do, you will not prove it. You don't have sufficient tools. Things come down in succession, you have to accept it. But then, if this formula was making some triangles on the copy, and she becomes really furious. Have I appointed you to teach my child drawing? I am earning, so I am working hard and earning just to make this boy understand mathematics, and you're teaching him triangles. He has learned this making triangle in his nursery or KG1, and she became really furious and started to beat this tuition teacher. Now, actually, tuition teacher was teaching trigonometry. This trigonometry, but mother could not understand. Mother could not understand. The point is, knowledge is enough to decode the knowledge. So, for example, someone is thirsty and he is not a science student, and it is written water 10 kilometers, H2O 0.5 kilometer. He is not a science student. He will go for water. He will not go for H2O. What is required here? Knowledge. You need to have science. You need to have science knowledge. This knowledge is being given by spiritual master, Guru. So you need to have faith in Guru, because he is decoding the things that is beyond your perception in a way that comes to your perception. Or you may say Guru is just like acting like a lens, telescope. Things are very far behind, it's beyond. That far thing and experience close to you, so that you can see it and you can perceive it and you can realize it. But then you need to have the faith. Just challenging won't work. Just like this teacher, this mother, she doesn't have any faith in this tuition teacher and could not understand what exactly he is doing. Looking like an ordinary thing. It's not an ordinary, it was trigonometry. Just to get material education, we need to have teacher. Say for example, Chandragupta Maurya. What qualification he had? Nothing. He was molded by Chanakya and became the ruler of the entire Mauryan dynasty. Entire India. So what was his qualification? He submitted himself to Chanakya. What was the qualification of Arjun? Arjun was so qualified that if you'll find out what are the qualifications of Arjun, see, Arjun could fire from both the hands. We have just seen this in movies, it's not in reality. Arjun is known as Sabyasachi. He could focus on two things simultaneously and fire with both the hands. He could shoot arrow with both the hands. That was his qualification. He was such a great diplomat. Just in 4 shlokas of Bhagavad Gita, he solved the entire problems of this world. There are 4 shlokas in Bhagavad Gita. First, IAS officers take those 4 shlokas seriously. They can change the entire course of problems just in 4 shlokas. This is how Arjun so diplomat. His knowledge planets, just like we are approaching Russia and Israel for weapons, he approached the higher planetary system to get weapons and to learn weaponry art. And not only that, he was so qualified, so much in sense control that the society girl of heaven, Urvashi, any intelligent man will do that, is it not? Arjun had so much sense control. And after all this, and he is born in such a great dynasty, royal family. And after everything, he was personal friend of the Supreme Lord. And after all these things, you just imagine, there was a point in life when Arjun became bewildered. If a person like Arjun can become bewildered, what to say of us? If a person like Arjun, a qualified person like Arjun, need knowledge, need guidance, need shelter, need support, what to say of us? If a person like Arjun needs knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, and what to say of us? And at what moment Arjun is taking Bhagavad Gita? At the battlefield. You know what is the situation at the battlefield? Well, just imagine the Indo-China war is going on, or Indian-Pakistan war is going on at the Kargil, and it's about, they're about to shoot and about to, or maybe started to drop. And at that moment, one soldier is approaching another soldier, oh, I am bewildered, you guide me, and then another soldier is speaking some words of motivation. First motivation lecture ever spoken. In that touch Krishna for knowledge, for motivation. So Chanakya molded Chandragupta, Krishna molded Arjuna. You know this phrase in our national anthem, Bharat Bhagya Vidhata. What does it mean? What is this national anthem actually meant for?
All parts of India.
No. You don't know? This national anthem is nothing but the glorification of Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. Jana Gana Man Adhinayaka Jaya hai. Jana means people, Gana means residents, citizens. Jana Gana, Mana means mind. Adhinayak means hero, captain, Adhinayak. So who is the captain, who is the hero of the mind? Of people of this country. Jana Gana Man Adhinayaka Jaya hai. All glories to him. Who is he? Who is the master? People of this country. The answer is one who has transformed the Bhagya of Arjuna. Bharata Bhagya Vidhata. Who is Bharat? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati Bharata. Who is Bharata? Who is the descendant of Bharata? Bharat Maharaj. Bharata Bhagya Vidhata. He is the maker of the destiny of Bharat. What destiny he made? To fight. Although he prepared himself for fight. But he prepared himself for fight. But at a certain point when he saw his own kinsmen, he had to fight with them, he became bewildered. He said, I'll beg and stay. I'll stay in forest. But who transformed the destiny of Bharata? He who transformed the destiny of Bharata is the hero of the minds of people of this country. Jana Gana Man Adhinayak Jaya Bharat Bhagya Vidhata. And not only, and then the next phrase is saying how he is being glorified everywhere. Punjab, Sindh, Gujarat, Maratha, Dravid, Utkal, Banga. In all these regions, who is actually glorified? Who is being glorified in Punjab? You know Guru Granth Sahib, the authorized holy book, holy text of Sikhism. What is the first this Guru Granth Sahib is comprising of different prayers by different saints. You know what is the first saint? What is the first saint whose prayer is being added in Guru Granth Sahib? His name is Jayadev Goswami. And you know who is Jayadev Goswami? You don't know Jayadev Goswami? You're not from Odisha? Jayadev Goswami has written Geet Govinda. Kavi Jayadev. Shri Jayadev Kaver Idam Uditam Udaram Shrunu Sukhadam Subhadam Bhavasaram. So this Jayadev Goswami's poem are the first poem which is being added in Punjabi background. So my title was Kohli before coming to ISKCON, before taking initiation. So we are Punjabis. So Jayadev Goswami and Tulsidas, Mirabai and Surdas, Tukaram, Sant Namdev, all their poetries, Kabir Das, all their poetries are being added in Guru Granth Sahib. And thousands, hundreds and thousands of times, Krishna, Punjab, Sindh, Gujarat, Dwarkadhish, Maratha, Panduranga, Dravida, South India, Srirangam, Tirupati, Rameshwaram, Utkal, Jagannath, Bengal, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगाल. सुबह सुबह क्या बोलते हैं? सुबह सुबह किसका नाम लेना चाहिए? कराग्रे वत्से मोबाइलम, कर मध्य व्हाट्सएपम, कर मूले चा फेसबुका, प्रभाते मोबाइल दर्शनम. Is that the shloka? What is the shloka? Morning means start with glorifying the Supreme Lord. तब शुभ नाम में जाके, तब शुभ आशीष मांगे. Everybody is praying for his blessings. गाय तब जय गाथा. Everybody singing his glories. And then again reminding, Janagana Mangaladayak Jai. He is one who is bestowing auspiciousness to the people of this country. Then again the question, who is that personality? One who has transformed the destiny of Bharat. Bharat Bhagya Vidhatha. Jaya hai, Jaya hai. Let he be glorified alone. Let he be glorified. Make sense? So Krishna transformed the destiny of Arjun. Chanakya transformed the destiny of Chandragupta Maurya. In a cricket match, in a cricket team, there are different people, different players. But having competent player is enough. What is the most important entity? He doesn't come into the surface, but is most important. Coach. Captain you can see. But coach is the most important person, but you don't see coach. But he is the one who actually, he is not just guiding them how to. So having a coach, having a mentor, either for academic growth, professional growth, it is mandatory. And then what to say of spiritual growth? Make sense? The problem with our country is, when you want to become a lawyer, you go to a law academy. When you want to become an engineer, you go for engineering college. You want to become a doctor, you go to medical college. But when you want to learn something spiritual, you open television and start seeing something nonsense. Start randomly studying some books and I am spiritual, I know everything. No, this is not the right way. You need to understand spirituality. You need to approach a proper personality. You need to approach an institution. You need to have authorized books. You need to go through authorized training. And then you'll be able to understand spiritual concepts wisely. Otherwise, all hodgepodge. The problem with our country today is, or most of the religion today is, spiritual knowledge means people in hodgepodge. No systematic spiritual cultivation. No systematic spiritual knowledge. Because they are not approaching a bona fide guru, they are not approaching a bona fide institution, they are not approaching bona fide scriptures, and they are not learning things scientifically and systematically. And therefore everything is hodgepodge. So today's lesson is, if you really want to learn about spiritual concept, you need to approach a proper guru, a proper institution, a proper scripture, and you need to learn things in a systematic scientific way. Otherwise, we'll only end up with hodgepodge, and the problem with hodgepodge is you don't believe this. So, for example, younger generation do not, like our parents must have said many times, do this kind of prayers, and you do faith in their words. Why? Because they are not able to answer our questions. The younger generation is drifting away from religion simply because religion is being imposed on them, not being properly answered our queries, and that is not the right way of getting knowledge. The problem is that generation, they do not scientifically, they do not know things logically, they themselves don't have complete faith in the process, but simply out of fear or out of desire, they are doing some practices and they are imposing it on their next generation. But if we really look for spiritual knowledge, what concepts close to our eyes and make us understand. These words I'll end today. If someone have any question, you can take those questions. Yeah.
Do you think that people who are following other religions or maybe following other gods, they are misguided?
I'll be coming to this point. If there is one God, then why so many religions? How to find a guide? Srila Prabhupada writes in one of his books, Science of Self-Realization, if you're really serious, Lord is sitting in your heart, Sarva Vishtu. And He knows that if you're really serious, rush in potato market or fish market, but you'll find hardly anyone in diamond shop. But first you need to ponder what when you're looking for God. Are we really serious? And if you're really serious, God will make arrangement. Just like in the story of Dhruva. So Dhruva was very serious to get, I want to meet God. And then because of his seriousness, his guru Narad Muni came before his. But becoming a disciple is a difficult thing. Disciple means one who is ready to be disciplined by guru. The problem is we don't want to get disciplined by anyone. There is a kite, and this kite is flying high in the sky, simply because that kite is connected with a string, and the string is in hands of someone. And if this kite says, I want to be independent, to develop love for God, to transform your inner self, you really want to get a purpose in life, you really want to be happy, all these things require a price. And the price is you must be ready to be surrendered and disciplined by the spiritual master. If that price you cannot pay, until second chapter, 7th shloka, Arjun is arguing again. The 7th shloka, Arjun is saying, Krishna, I am totally confused. I don't know what is right, what is wrong. Karpanya dosho patha swabhava prachhami tom dharma sammudha cheta. Yet, Arjun, what is Krishna? What is beneficial for me? Please tell me, because my own arguments are not sufficient to make my life beautiful. Although I am so knowledgeable, I am arguing with you so much, but this knowledge is not helping. I am completely, please, Shadima means you do shasan on me. Because all this nonsense are coming. In Madhya Pradesh, one rascal, becoming very famous these days, some Mishra, I'll not say his name because it's being recorded. He says that if your child has not studied, no issues. Just take this bel patra, put some honey, and jaake chipka do Shivji ke upar. In whatever exam he has not studied, he'll pass. खुद का लड़का 8वीं क्लास में फेल हो गया. You just see this nonsense. It's dharma. This religion is going to transcend. The problem is intelligent people are not coming to understand religion. Intelligent people are going away from scriptures. Intelligent people are going away from dharma, and therefore these rascals are coming up. It's not their fault. It's your fault. You're an intelligent person. You're not their fault. It's our fault. It's our fault. Makes sense, Rupam? It's your fault. So what we need to do is, we need to understand these concepts very clearly and not just understand it, then propagate it. We need to create revolution. That is why Srila Prabhupada went to West and started this movement. Another rascal is becoming very famous these days. Whatever is going in your mind, he'll write. Whatever disease you're suffering, he'll write. He may have some kind of powers, whatever. Is it sufficient? Is it dharma? That's it? So we need to come out of all this nonsense, okay? Any other question? Whenever these kind of things come, I become really heavy. Yeah. Any other question?
You can ask in any language, not hesitate.
Piyush, huh? Any question?
Piyush is currently escort in Tukaram. Beyond birth and death.
Beyond birth and death. So I'll just show you one video. We have that video, birth again, death again. Okay. Huh? No, it's available on internet. So I'll just show one video and we'll end. How child is being born when semen of father fertilizes the ovum, and then embryo develops, zygote develops into embryo. This complete science of embryology is being explained as scriptures. Structure of universe is being explained as scriptures. And there's so many things, hundreds and thousands of things I can tell. So one video I'm going to show that how this transmigration of soul takes place from one body to another. Tomorrow we'll be discussing these things in detail. Concept of soul and mind and subtle body we are going to discuss. But how nicely these things are explained as scriptures, and how today someone shared in our Prajalpa group that scientists have done some research that the baby in the womb also feels emotions. Now, is it very new to us? You know, when Abhimanyu was in his mother's womb, his mother was awake. He learned that how to enter into Chakravyuh, but then by the time so she slept, so he could not learn how to come out of. So child in the womb can learn. Is it very new? Prahlad was in his mother's womb, and at that time Narad Muni gave knowledge, and he understood. He became a devotee just because because mother associated with Narad Muni when child was in the womb. Is it very difficult things to understand? So today science is proving those things which has been proved in the scriptures, long scriptures. So you'll get to know.
One question. If we consider that Bhagavad Gita is the only truth, as Krishna says, right? Then should we discard the other religions?
I'm saying, day after tomorrow, I'll be coming to this point. Have I said that we are discarding? We never discard. I have practically studied Bible, Quran, Guru Granth Sahib, and I know the truth. Rascals are telling on YouTube, just do not follow them. Yeah, they are very dangerous people.
There is a session on 30th. Is there any session?
Do we have a session on 30th?
When is the next session?
Tomorrow, yeah.
And day after tomorrow?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll be continuing.
I'll not be available. So
You're going somewhere?
yes, I'm going.
Oh, so Durga Puja holiday.
Durga Puja holiday.
All of you are going?
Yeah.
Yeah. Volume. Volume. Hmm.